This match arguably required the least amount of brain power or effort in order to achieve a nuke I've ever played. The enemy basically provided me a 5-star dining experience by feeding me their delicious tanks. And I think the most absurd part of this whole experience is I was not in the most advantageous position. I could have easily been dealt with. Hey YouTube, what's up? Ronic here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to War Thunder. Sit back, relax, and let's dive into this all-you-can-eat tank buffet, War Thunder style, with, of course, the atomic ending.
I have nothing else planned for this afternoon.
All right, so note to all of you that if for whatever reason you find yourself in a game against me on this map and I am on this side, I'm most likely going to go to E5. And the reason for that is I don't like going to the city and I don't like going A, because I generally don't like fighting in tunnels or corridors where you're basically forced to just go at each other. Unless I'm in like a super heavy tank or something like the Turtle. But I generally don't play those tanks very much because that's not the playstyle that I enjoy. But I like going the middle here because not only do you overlook B and you can overlook some of the guys flanking around the town in the 5 or 6 line. You got an easy scout to start with. I think I got an easy tow kill here, but you know, whatever. I don't kill the T-62, but it's all right. Get a commander at least, so we'll get an assist. Unfortunately, where that leaves us is now we have an enemy who knows exactly where we are. But I like this spot. Sometimes the enemy can get to B without you noticing just because there is a couple dips they can drive in, but holding this ground here prevents the enemy team from being able to push up, because if they push up and they take the high ground that I'm occupying, they can essentially spawn camp the bottom right spawn, and then they can cut off the bottom left spawn by moving up in the high ground that's located in the E and F 4 squares. And if the enemy takes these 2 positions, then essentially we're just going to get spawn camped. I might not be serving a huge purpose right now, but I'm literally the only vehicle that's preventing that. Like if I'm taken out and this position's lost, then the enemy team can basically wreak havoc in the rear, and then I think that's pretty much game over for us. So even though there's not a whole lot going on right now, that's kind of my thought. I don't want to give myself away. I don't want to be a cheap death. And considering I'm playing the Begleitpanzer with some tows, I got proxy rounds too. I can hide behind these rocks, but I truly want to be a good reconnaissance and anti-aircraft asset for my team right now. And speak of the devil, we got our first customer. Just hopefully he doesn't shoot us with a missile. Got a hit there, and we finished him off. I'm curious to see who did the most damage to begin with. I think one large downside to this position is, although there's a lot of hard cover such as these rocks, there's really not a whole lot of flexibility, as in if I want to change my location or change my position or try and move, if there's an enemy watching me, I'm going to have to expose myself in order to do that. It's not like a ridgeline or a small mound. The hill is facing forward because it's like a slope that goes down into the B cap. So there's really nowhere to hide if you want to move. So it's very easily to get pinned down. And damn, that was a nice kill right in the T-72's freaking sweet spot. Another good thing about this position is highlighted here is we can watch that little gap at the top of the B6 square out of their northeastern spawn. We can scout people long before they get to the town, and we can eliminate dudes that are in that ridgeline rocky area. We got ourselves a nice friendly Merkava sitting in the trees there, and we're able to take him out. But then out of the corner of my eye, I get a little glimpse of a BMD-4. I'm too slow. I try to hit my W key and speed up to come out from behind the rock, but we're too late. We do immobilize him, and he is scouted, so at least hopefully maybe a teammate can take him out. And now we got a BMP coming our way. I got a little unlucky. I jumped the gun and pressed my V key a little too early. So my crosshair was still kind of over that BMD, so that's why it said target already scouted. So we didn't get the scout on the BMP back there, but we did get the scout on the T-Series tank. And I'm hoping that he's going to come up this alleyway, which right now it looks like he's going to do that. So I'm kind of just waiting for him to just kind of expose his side armor. So at least we can give him a nice tow missile. Or if better, we can kill him with our armor piercing rounds. Basically, I'm just looking back and forth. The C2, B2 ridge line. A lot of people like to snipe back there. I mean, I do sometimes, but it's just so common of a spot that it's more often than not, it's just really easy to get killed. Just like this Sprute here, like there's really not a lot of places to hide, especially where my team currently is. So we're able to get a fairly easy kill. I probably didn't need to use a tow missile there. I wanted to secure the kill. I don't know. I don't think I have the most confidence right now. I don't believe I have this tank spaded at the time of playing this match. So I think that kind of like resulted in some hesitation as well. But we got another Merkava coming up. We're going to try and just keep him scouted unless he gives us some side armor. I don't want to waste any ammunition on a Merkava's front. We also have this T-62, which I think will be a pretty free kill.
What the hell?
But I donked the shot and we only get an engine. That dude 100, more like 1,000% knows where I am now. So I'm down to one missile. I got one tank confirmed knows where I am. I bet you that Sprute knows where I am now. I'm honestly surprised we haven't been taken out by a helicopter and aircraft at this point. But hey, so far so good. I look at the map and notice that the enemy is decapping the A point. So now I'm afraid of getting shot in the rear. We got a T-72 coming up. I get a little herky-jerky. That dude has no ammo in his autoloader, so we don't get the ammo detonation, unfortunately. But we're able to get an assist. And assists are just as valuable as kills sometimes. They do stack up after a while. We're trying to keep that Merkava scouted to make sure that we get assist points for whenever our teammates take them out. T-72 gets taken out. That T-62 gets taken out. And that Merkava is continually getting damage from our teammates over there in the city. Get lucky, spot a BMP-3 back there. That's something that's easily taken out with our AP rounds. And so far, we're looking pretty good. We got 5 intelligence, multiple kills, and we haven't left this rock, which is pretty hilarious, but the enemy keeps showing themselves to me. Got a BMP-2 coming up over the top, and we're already only 400 points short of a nuke. So really not a whole lot of effort that I've had to put into this match so far, but, you know, that's not really my problem. You know, this isn't like an invincible position. It's not an overpowered position by any means. There's a quote that I really like that's attributed to Napoleon, but essentially it's never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake. So if the enemy wants to keep driving out in front of me to where I can shoot them or scout them, I'm going to keep sitting here. It's like, as long as the well's providing water, I'm not going to leave. Here, I get super greedy. That missile impacts right next to us, but because they miss, I feel like I have at least a couple seconds to shoot this BMP that's racing across. So that's what I decided to do, because I'm not sure who exactly is shooting at us, because it came from the direction of A, and we're in control of A right now. But now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure my friendly Beglite shot me, because I think that second missile actually hit me, but I took no damage, which means it could only be friendly fire. So if you're watching this video, sir, please tell me, why'd you shoot me? I get a glimpse of an anti-air gun coming through that little corridor. Get excited. I think it's a free kill, but we're too slow around the rock, and the ZSU is able to escape us. And that dude 1000% knows where we are, because we shot him, we hit him, we just didn't do any damage. Those things are so freaking tricky to kill sometimes. I'm hoping he'll come around the corner, but he's too smart. He knows. And there we go. The enemies are finally starting to converge on my position. I think we have a BMP-2 there, and then we also have that T-Series tank. Don't exactly know what model yet. And then we have that ZSU at the same time. But we're able to get the scouts off. We're going to relocate just to try and throw them off. Now, I have an anti-air gun in B. Now, I'm hoping that since I moved, they'll move, which the ZSU is, and it's going to draw them right into that line of fire of that anti-air gun. So I got the ZSU in front of me. I can hear the BMP moving as well. There he is. Make sure they're both scouted, and I just let my AA gun do the work. AMX-30 DCA, that thing is brutal. And there we are, multiple assists. We just unlocked the nuke. Now, obviously, when you're towards the top, getting to the battle zone is an entirely different story than just getting it. But I don't think the enemy has any aircraft up at this point. And I do appreciate that the Jaguar is very fast. So one thing I hate is spawning in a nuke when you have the 15-kilometer distance to travel, but you are not in a bomber that has WEP. Because it feels like forever to get to the battlefield, versus the Jaguar just constantly gets faster and faster and faster, so you're easily able to get there. I do see that there is a ZSU 23 4M4 up, so I'm going to try and stay as low to the ground as possible just to try and avoid that radar. That was my Alpha Jet pal that just got plopped out of the sky. Plopped, that's not even a word. Like smacked, I guess would have been a better verb. But I'm going to try and stay low to the ground as possible. But at this point, I'm feeling really confident. I'm not seeing any enemy aircraft. I got those big rocks in the way. I'm trying to put those rocks in between myself and their spawn, where their anti-air is generally hiding. We're going to try and hug the dunes the best we can. and we are going to get there with relative ease, not a whole lot of stress, and super low effort nuke, if I'm being entirely honest. Like, I felt like with the 685, I felt like there was a good amount of effort because I had to get to the position, I had to range find accurately, I had to shoot accurately, I had to be listening for aircraft coming up behind me. That was a lot more intense. However, in this match, we mainly got this nuke off of assists. Like, yeah, we got 7 kills, but they weren't high skill level kills. They were side shots on light tanks, proxy rounds on a helicopter, but most of our points came from assists and scouting. So we got a lot of help from our team here, but I felt like we did a really good job using our tank in its role. We also tactically on the map blocked the enemy from being able to push through the center and pressure our 2 caps. Like most nukes, you know, you kind of need some luck to go your way. And you can definitely argue that we did. We didn't get bombed. We didn't get shot with a helicopter. We got shot by our own teammate twice. I have no idea why. And I know I'll probably catch some flack by camping behind that rock the whole match, but I was serving a purpose and the enemy team clearly wasn't learning from their mistakes. So why would I not exploit that? Like, if they're not going to learn from their mistakes and go to different positions or use different routes or try to get me killed, then why fix what's not broken? You know what I mean? So I know that won't sit well with a lot of people, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm just trying to win games and that's how I like to play. But I know not all players are like that. I hope you guys enjoyed the match. If you did, consider hitting that like button and leaving a comment. If you want to see more videos like this, consider hitting that subscribe button. I appreciate all of your guys' support as always. Stay tuned and I'll see all of you in the next video.